Welcome to this video of using technology to improve your lodge. We're going to talk about how to use technology to help with your communications, promotion, secretary support, lodge history, what kind of equipment you should have, and we'll talk a little bit about temple boards. This list is the pretty typical list of various modes of communication. You should be familiar with most of these, but we're going to talk a bit about each one of these. With emails, we're assuming you'll know how to use email and that most of your members use email. On your website, we recommend that you use aliases when listing your officers and how to contact them. Washington 4 uses, for instance, Worshipful Period Master at WashingtonLodge4.org. This then sends that email through to their personal email address, and that way it's not visible to the general public, which provides them some privacy. We also suggest that you have a contact form on your website routed to the master and secretary, or perhaps membership chairman. We also recommend that you use a spam blocker. These are programs that help prevent you from getting tons of spam in your email box. And you've probably been familiar with it with submitting contacts or comments on other websites where you have to enter in the numbers or letters that you see on a photograph. That prevents automated programs from just filling your box with junk. When it comes to using emails, this is a rule that I used in business as well as lodge, which is on the third reply, pick up the phone. If I send an email to somebody, they reply back, I reply to them, and they reply back, that's enough. It's time to pick up the phone. Email is not a conversation piece. And if your subject's deep enough, you're not going to be able to cover it with an email. So go ahead, pick up the phone. When you send emails out, blanket or broadcast emails to the members of your lodge, if you CC them or blind CC them, odds are their software is going to send it to the spam folder if there's more than about 10 emails on it, email addresses. There's programs out there to help prevent that, and one of the more popular ones is called MailChimp. And what it is, it's a free software, and you open an account, you put in all your email addresses, and you can mass dump them into it. And it keeps them for you, and so you can use them over and over again, and you can have subgroups that you can send to and that kind of thing. But it's very flexible. It allows you can have photographs, you can really jazz it up all you want. Some lodges are even starting to use that for their trestle board. And so it's a real handy feature, and as far as your inbox is concerned, it's coming from one email address, and so it won't treat it as spam. It'll put it in your inbox. So it's very handy. Websites. Hopefully your lodge has one. We obviously strongly recommend that you do. There's a growing trend with websites of what I call static versus active. Active websites are the more traditional website you're used to, which has kind of all the information about your lodge up there. Has a calendar, what you're doing, maybe some reports on previous events that you've had and how successful they were. It's your sole source of communication to the general world as to who you are and what you're doing. That requires a lot of maintenance, and we're finding that it's becoming more and more of a challenge for lodges to keep that up to date. What we're seeing now is more of a static website, which has all your basic information, who you are, why you exist, where do you meet, when do you meet, the list of officers, a photograph of your officers, and that kind of information. Plus, we recommend links to the Grand Lodge website if visitors have questions about what is Freemasonry. That's best answered on the Grand Lodge website. They've got all the information, the videos up there. Why reinvent the wheel? Just put a link in there to those pages in the Grand Lodge website. But as far as your announcements of upcoming meetings or dinners and reports on how things went, more and more lodges are going over to Facebook for that. And there's some brothers out there that aren't too thrilled about Facebook, but because they've heard these horror stories of friends that report every minute of every day on what they're doing. And trust me, there's people out there like that, but you don't have to befriend them. But it's a great way of pushing out your information to your members instead of hoping they'll go up on the website and pull the information out themselves. That rarely happens. So with Facebook, it comes in and they see it and they get messages. Grand Lodge can also host your website. If you don't have a website now and need hosting, or you don't like the company that's hosting yours, the Grand Lodge does provide that service. You can access the link from the Grand Lodge website, and it's about $10 a month, which is very competitive with other programs out there. It's been recommended that you go to Google Places or Map Maker. With those programs, you can go in and give the address of your lodge, and that will be entered into Google Maps. And so when people are driving around and points of interest pop up on their map, your lodge would become one of the points of interest, which could be very useful for attracting people to your lodge building. Grand Lodge has a lot of resources, especially for communication. Oops, wrong one. I'll go over here. We've got news and events. Here, the previous leadership retreat, the upcoming annual communication, etc., etc. Masonic Tribune, any news that's going on. We've got classified ads. We've got community, where it talks about these different topics, and we can add more if we've got them. But if your lodge is active in one of these and want to report on how yours went, send it to the Grand Lodge office, and they'll add it up here into these categories. So it's a great way to communicate to the other brothers in the state, as well as the general public, on what you're doing, and you can also see what others are doing. So we highly recommend making that a regular practice. As I said, Facebook is outstanding for event notices and reviews. You can set up group pages where it's secure communication. It's only to your lodge members, or you can have it as an open Facebook, which everybody in the world can see, which is a good opportunity to promote your lodge to the general public. But if you want to use Facebook to discuss topics that you don't want the general population to watch and review, then you want to set up a separate group so it's secure in just your members. Unfortunately, it's already out of favor with the younger set. That was so last month, so they're moved on to other things, such as text messaging, Instagram, Tumblr, all sorts of stuff out there. Really what you need to do, and you should be doing this anyways, talking with your members, finding out what's the best means of communication to them individually. I have members in my lodge that will only respond to text messages. They won't reply to emails. They won't even answer the phone. It's only text messages. So you got to really find out what each member needs, and you'll probably use 3 or 4 different programs and processes if you're going to access and contact all your members, including obviously snail mail for those older members of ours. Twitter too is becoming a very useful resource for broadcast messaging. The members don't have to have a Twitter account. All they have to do is you set up an account, you give them a code, they enter it in their smartphones, and they will receive text messages, which are really tweets. So it's very useful for broadcast messaging. Virtual meetings are a useful tool, not so much for your stated meetings, but for officers' meetings, committees, things like that. The benefit is everybody gets to stay home. They can sit down for 10 minutes, have their meeting, and not having to drive somewhere. That tends to increase participation. The Grand Lodge uses a program called Sakoko, that let's see. Oops. Yeah, there it is. This is the Grand Lodge website Sakoko page, and it looks like a regular office floor plan. And actually, some of the committees have their own rooms. But you start out in the lobby, and then if you want to meet with somebody, you can meet in the breakout room, or if you have a committee meeting, we can go into a break room and everybody can come in here, or a work room, excuse me. You have headphones, you've got your microphone on, and when your microphone's on, then my avatar here displays a headset with a microphone, and as I talk you can see I'm highlighted, which makes it really handy in a virtual meeting to know who's talking, and everybody else keeps theirs off, and that prevents any feedback. This room has 4 screens in which you can actually attach anything that you have on your desktop, and that can be put on a screen and everybody can then view it. This isn't really a class about Sakoko, but it just shows you the power of a virtual meeting software. I'll give you access information, contact information at the end of this video on how to contact me, and I can add you. I have to invite you, but I can add you to the list, and then you can go up and start using it with you and your lodge. GoToMeeting is another good one. For one-on-one or one-on-a-couple, Skype is always good. We're in the process of writing a white paper on how to facilitate a Sakoko meeting. There's really 3 kinds of meetings. There's the traditional, everybody drives to one location and sit around a conference room. There's the virtual meeting where everybody sits at home and dials in, basically. And then the third is a hybrid, where some are in a conference room and others are virtual into that conference room. And each of those has their own set of etiquette, their own set of rules to make it successful. The hybrid, I call the one that's some are in the room, some are not, is a very, very tough meeting to have, because you have that very tight rules of etiquette, because you can't just have guys talking back and forth. The virtual guys won't be able to figure it out. So this white paper is an attempt to try and help you better facilitate any of those 3 kinds of meetings. So look forward to that in the next couple months. Calendars are also very useful. You got Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Outlook. They're all good. I think they all allow for multiple different calendars that you can see simultaneously, that you can share it with others, that you can assign editors. I maintain the District 19 calendar, and so I've got a couple members that have editing capabilities. The goal is for each of the organizations to have an editor so they can go up and edit their own things, and I don't have to be a reporter and go around finding out who's doing what. But it's a very useful tool because individuals can attach it to their home calendar, and then they can see what's going on in their lodge or the district. Grand Lodge also has calendars. Grand Master's itinerary calendar, and then we have all other calendars. Takes a few minutes to load, but oh, it's faster this time. And so as you can see, it's kind of crazy, but you can get a sense of what's going on a particular day. This particular calendar right now has these different organizations listed on it, but under categories here, and you can pick one of them and just see that calendar for that organization. So it's a very useful tool, and if your software can create a Google Calendar compatible interface, we can add that calendar to this Grand Lodge calendars page, and then everybody can see what your lodge or your district is doing. So get a hold of Chantal at the Grand Lodge website, and she can help set you up with that. Promoting your lodge. We talked about websites. Again, it's very important that you provide accurate, up-to-date information, that it's attractive to prospective members, and that it's a repository of all the information about your lodge. LinkedIn is a website that's used by professionals for networking. And I used to have a LinkedIn account till I retired, and then I didn't want everybody offering me jobs, so I got out of it. But I'm finding, surprisingly, that lodges are using it. And so I've not investigated it that much, but you might look into it for your lodge. Obviously, print media, your local newspaper, nickel ads, whatever. There's often opportunities to advertise. I'm putting up, it should already be up, these possible ad formats. I got these from, I think, the Masonic Service Association. They're not copy protected, so you can use them. Definitely get the Grand Master's permission before putting these in the newspaper, because it does have the square and compass on it. But there's about, I think, 6 different themes, and they're in the format that the print companies like to get them for reproduction. And so they're very outstanding, and I'm disappointed they're not used more than they are. Other media, I got question marks by radio and local public television because they are tough to get into, but not impossible. There's kind of community radio stations out there, and some channels, some networks have public access television. So you might want to look into those as possible sites for promoting your lodge or your district. For secretary support, there's a secretary's database. Hopefully your lodge secretary is computer literate and has access to this. If not, find someone in your lodge that is, because it's really important that your lodge have access to this database. Even though the Grand Lodge office makes changes from the monthly reports that the secretaries put up, the secretaries are still the best resource for maintaining the accurate information about the members. So it's important that your secretary or someone in your lodge has access to that database and can make real-time changes. There's lots of resources on the Grand Lodge website, lots of forms, both in PDF and Word or native formats. Compliance filings, if you have to do a 990, or if you got a corporation dealing with that, the secretary should become very familiar with that. And we can kind of help you with that if you need be. Lodge history. I can't emphasize this enough. All the lodges I'm aware of are really suffering from a deterioration of their history. Most of them are photographs that may be up in the attic or even on the wall, slowly deteriorating. There's lodge brothers that are passing away every year. That's history that's leaving us without an opportunity to record that. So we strongly recommend that you get a video camera out, sit with a brother, and talk to them about their experiences with the lodge, and see if you can record that for posterity. The Grand Lodge provides a library for storing all of your photographs and videos. It's free to you. It's unlimited, I'm told. And so this is a great resource. You find it on most of the pages on the Grand Lodge website. On the right hand sidebar under quick links has photo archives. If you click that, you'll get this website. And on the home page is a button called Washington Lodges. And every time the Grand Lodge photographer comes out and photographs an event, they put it up here in this album, the 2015. In this case, it's the 2015 album. But you, as members of the lodge, can upload photographs of your own, from pictures you've taken of an event or historical photographs. You can upload them, and they will create a folder for you as well. If you have enough of them, they'll go so far as to create your own lodge folder. And so they're proposing that you take photographs of your building, any other historical documents, or anything you want up there. And again, it's free and it's unlimited. So use this to document the history of your lodge. It's in a place that's constantly backed up. You won't lose this. It's not dependent on a secretary or anybody else's home computer. It's a great, great resource, and I highly recommend it. And all these photographs are downloadable. If there's anything in here you see that's of interest, you can download that photograph. And feel free to do that. On the Grand Lodge website also, they've videotaped all the remaining living past Grand Masters. And so, let's see if I can find it here. Okay, there's the past Grand Masters. And they haven't gotten the latest bunch yet, but they've got a few of them. So anywhere that you see an interview, you pick that and it'll take you right to their video. So it's a great way of learning about the past Grand Masters. Suggested equipment: a laptop. Hopefully your secretary is doing the minutes on a laptop. An LED projector. We're moving away from LCD projectors, the LEDs. Don't require a really expensive bulb, and they're almost instant on and instant off. They don't generate nearly the heat. Well worth it. A good quality screen. Quit broadcasting on the wall. Get a good screen. A good audio system too. Microphones, speakers. I didn't add on here headsets. Consider the brothers with hearing aids. If your microphone system isn't good enough, you can get Bluetooth headsets that have the cushion that goes around the ear and is compatible with people with hearing aids, in the ear hearing aids. So think about that when you're laying out your equipment. Good Wi-Fi. There's now Freedom Pop, which is an internet service. All you do is pay the $30 or $40 for the portable unit, and the access to Wi-Fi is free. So it's a cheap way to get Wi-Fi into your building, or if you're going to use it a lot, then bring in hard wires. If you have big events that require your membership to be scattered all over the place, a good resource is to use your cell phone as a two-way radio. The technology committee uses it for communicating the annual communication. We use a program called Zello, and it puts this big button on your phone, and you just press to talk, and you can create different groups. You can talk to the whole group. You can talk to an individual person. They don't have to be in any distance. I've talked across country on this as a two-way radio. It's real handy to use. It's free. You know, other than airtime, but it works really well. So it's one of several kinds of programs out there that's great for communication. Finally, a little bit about temple boards. Obviously, if you've got a building, you've got a temple board, and you've got tenants. Maybe you're renting it out to outside groups. So you got to manage the tenants. You're going to have hopefully a website that will attract outside renters. You're going to want to have a schedule of the building usage on there so that people know when it's available. QuickBooks is a great resource for managing the books. Don't do it in an Excel spreadsheet. Get the resources to do it right. Learn about the online resources from the Washington Department of Revenue, from the IRS. Whatever is needed to manage your temple board is available and online. So become very computer literate with that. If you need help, give us a call. We're the Grand Lodge Technology Committee, and we're here to help your lodge out. If you want to contact me for getting set up with Sococo, or if you have any other questions, feel free to get a hold of me. This is my contact information. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward as a committee member to help you out. Thank you.